Afternoon, well, good evening, ladies. Welcome to a Woman's Worth talk show. I'm excited to be here again. I come every Wednesday to bring you information about empowering, inspiring, and uplifting women through helping them mend their broken pieces. And I have some ladies on now. We were just chatting a little bit, and they are also interested in women issues. So again, I'm excited. I can't wait to hear what they have to say. So what I'm going to do some housekeeping rules. I am going to share a little bit about my life, my pain, and how I've moved into my purpose. And then I want to invite the ladies to jump on, whoever wants to jump on, because I want you also to be a part of this conversation. And it's so important to me to hear from other ladies, because there are ladies out there that are still broken, and they need to see women who were in their situations, have survived situations, overcome situations, and are willing to give it back to them. I want them to see that. That's why it's so important for me to have started this talk show. And a little bit about myself, ladies. I am a woman of recovery, recovering from substances. I abused drugs and alcohol for a number of years. And I just celebrated, well, not just, December 26th, I celebrated 27 years of recovery. And I'm excited about that. This has been a journey. I'm a big advocate and sharing with people. Recovery is not smooth sailing. There were a lot of steps going forwards and steps going backwards, and I haven't relapsed off of drugs and alcohol in 27 years, but there has been other areas that I probably didn't even consider getting into recovery, because I still had other issues to work out, even though I was clean and sober. Many other issues that equally were destructive in my life, that equally caused me to be in situations that could have harmed me and die. And I thank God that, He covered me during those times and the bad decisions that I made. And when I do speak, and I have been speaking for a number of years, but I've been speaking mostly in the world of the 12-step community, and I've been speaking in the treatment programs where I work about my life, because I'm real open and transparent about who I am. But while I'm speaking, I let them know that recovery, well, staying abstinent is not enough. You really got to deal with the reasons why you began that behavior in the first place. And I want to make sure that I don't restrict the behavior to only drugs and alcohol. I want to be clear that just was part of my journey. There were other behaviors that I had to work out on, and some of those other behaviors were connecting with unhealthy men. And when I say connecting, it goes so far as I can call it a cycle of unhealthy relationships, one after another, and not understanding that domestic violence, because they were most of them were domestic violence experiences, and it wasn't a whole lot. For my age, I'm 53, and I haven't been in many relationships, just that they were pretty much long term, but they were abusive relationships in one form or another. And I did not educate myself, and I didn't understand the full scope of what domestic violence was. So when I encountered a relationship and he wasn't physically abusive, in my mind, I'm like, this one's healthy. And at the end of the day, he wasn't healthy. So that's part of my journey. I am a recovering addict. Along with being a recovering addict, 2 years into my recovery, I decided, thank you, Mary, you can definitely relate. Yes, thank you. But 2 years into my recovery, I made a decision that I wanted to work in the field of addiction. I wanted to become a professional counselor, so that's what I did. So along with my own recovery, I've also been working in the field of addictions. May 1st made 25 years that I've been working in the field of addiction. I am a state board addiction counselor. I'm also a certified anger management specialist. I'm also trained in moral recognition therapy, which is reframing criminal thinking, because I worked a lot with the criminal population and their manipulative thinking, and helping them change that so they can live a moral life. Hopefully, that's the goal. I also had some training in trauma recovery. I always tell people, I am not a therapist. I'm an addiction professional. but I've been trained in trauma recovery, not from a therapist perspective, but from someone who is guiding women who have experienced domestic violence and sexual assault, helping them build their self-esteem and self-confidence on a basic level. And with that trauma recovery program, which is called TRIM, and it stands for Trauma Recovery Empowerment Model, we work with the therapist. So if any of the ladies needed ongoing intense therapy, we automatically refer them to therapists. And I'm just saying that because I'm a real stickler for staying within my credentials. I'm a real stickler for not moving out of my lane and moving into some area where I don't have training. So I wanted to make sure that I say that. So in addition to having those credentials, it allowed me to move through the area of substance abuse treatment in different modalities. I've worked in detox units, I worked in inpatient, I worked in outpatient, I worked in residential. I worked with men. I worked with children of those who were addicted, had group with children as young as 5, 6, 7, 8. I provided counseling for children who are 9, 10 years old who experience anger management problems. I've done a lot. I've also done the program development side of substance abuse treatment in terms of helping with the curriculum, helping design the programs. So I've done a lot, and probably more than I'm sharing right now, but I want to segue into how where this passion came from to serve women. Where did it come from? Having had these experiences with these different populations, how did I wind up having this passion for women? And I see Mary saying, you are speaking my language. Yes, yeah, I am such a big, I'm a CBT person. So if you're familiar with counseling theories, cognitive behavioral therapy, that's me. I believe in changing the thinking, because in any behavior you're trying to change, if you only change your behavior, not your way of thinking, pretty soon you're going to return back to either that same behavior or you're going to pick up something else. It's important to change the way that you think so you can develop new belief systems that will give you long-lasting change when it comes to your behavior. I'm definitely, that's me. I'm about changing the thinking. But let me go back to Jung. Yes, is my man, absolutely, Carl Jung, absolutely. I want to go back into how I moved into this world of speaking to women. Of course, I'm a woman. You would think that because I am a woman that I would say, yes, I want to speak to women, but that was not my case at all. Going back into probably around the 12th, 13th year of being a counselor, I was hired in this treatment program. And I believe on the very first day or second day of the first week, they explained to me that I would be working with the women population. In my mind, I didn't say it out loud. I said to myself, I won't be back tomorrow. I will not be back tomorrow. There is just no way that I'm working with women. And I've learned later on a couple of reasons why. The first reason why, at that moment when they told me that, I felt that women had too many issues to deal with on top of other stuff, and I just didn't want to deal with that. Because of my personality, and I'm a real matter-of-fact person. I'm pretty much, let's get the job done kind of person. I'm a real focused, let's do this kind of person. And I didn't want to have to deal with all this emotional baggage that we women bring. I want to deal with that. So it took a while, it took a minute, and I left that treatment program. I still was like, okay, I loved the experience. I really, truly did. And one of the things I learned about women and why we have so many issues, a lot of the times that, well, let me say this. One, because we're nurturers and we are attached to people. So we have parents taking care of us. We have our husbands taking care of us. We're taking care of our children. We have so many things going on. We have all these attachments because we're nurturers that we have our issues spread out. We have issues about being parents, about being mothers, being sisters, being girlfriends, being husbands. So our issues span the scope. Also, we have this thing about us because we're nurturers that we put our stuff last, and therefore it builds up and it builds up. And because we don't take care of ourselves, not all of us, but some of us don't take care of ourselves very well because we put ourselves last. And therefore, when women did arrive in treatment, they arrived having a lot of issues because even before they came into treatment, not only that we are nurturers, we have a lot of enablers. You know, we have people who will take care of us, so we won't experience pain. We have our boyfriends that will take care of us, our husbands, our mothers. So when we come into treatment, usually we're pretty emotionally, physically, spiritually, pretty much we have hit a bottom. Because all the people that are there to take care of us, and I see you, Samantha. I just want to make sure that I, share what I need to share, and I'm definitely going to open up to hear from you, ladies. But by the time the women arrived in treatment, there were so many issues, including a lot of them had their own children at the time, so we had to figure out a way to help them and help their children. So I thought that was a lot, and I just didn't want to be bothered at that particular time. So moving forward, I began to work with men in the prison system, in different places. And around my 23rd year as a counselor, I wanted to open up my own treatment program. And I didn't share this, but my entry into becoming a counselor actually was co-founding a recovery organization and learning to write grants and getting funded and writing the program. That normally happens at the end of your career, and somehow, God saw fit that was my entry into substance abuse treatment, actually co-founding an organization. And that was definitely God. I didn't know. All the people were set up to show me how to do this, and I've done it. So throughout my career, I said I wanted to go back to, opening up my own treatment program. It's just that I wanted to learn the ins and outs and the steps to running treatment by actually working in a facility. So when I got to year 23, I said, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to open up a treatment program. And actually, I began to do that. I lived in Augusta for 3 years, Augusta, Georgia. And I leased a couple of offices. I furnished everything. I got my mentor together. He helped me put all the things I needed to put together and my attempt to become licensed. And then I said, this is not it. This is not it. I wanted more. I wanted to reach more people. And I knew that working in a treatment facility, that would limit the amount of people that I could touch with my experience as a counselor. And there's more to that story. And including my daughter saying, Mommy, this is not you. You love speaking. This is what you should be doing. And at that time, I said, you know what? You're right. For the first time in my life, I'm going to go after my big. I didn't go after it before because of, and Mary put it on the side before we started. We started at 7 because of not having enough self-confidence, not having enough self-esteem to believe that I could do something big. And I do want to share this. I've always been a goal. I always achieved a lot of goals. And within the world of substance abuse treatment, I did achieve a lot. And I share, people are always surprised when I tell them that I don't have a degree at all. I have several certifications. I don't have a degree. And this is just, I don't want to send the wrong message out because education is so important. It's just that I truly know that this is my purpose because not having a degree never stopped me from getting a promotion. It has never stopped me from getting a promotion over people that been at the job longer than I have. I was the last one hired. It never stopped me from getting a promotion over people who had far more degrees than I had. That's why I knew along the way that this is my purpose. There's just no way that this could be happening in my life without a degree, because in the field of counseling, you need a degree. Well, you don't need one because I'm an example that you don't. But for most people, and including me, when I interview, they're asking me, where's your degree? And I'm always able to explain to them that I don't have it, but I have a wealth of experience, and this is what I can do for your agency. These are the things I've done in my last agency. So that usually always gets me in because my resume just has everything in it. Just about everything. So I knew that this was my purpose. because God opens doors and he makes available to you the things that are impossible. When you line up and you're in position, in the right position, doors begin to open up in areas that you never thought they would open up. And that's what has been happening with me. So in year 23, I said, no, I'm going to go for my other big. And let me add this. While I made that decision, there's another one of these jobs. I tell you, when you're walking in your purpose, like I said, doors fly open. The last job that I had in Augusta was December 29th, 2015. And the position I held was clinical director of the treatment program. That is unheard of for someone to be a clinical director and not have a degree. Unheard of. Most clinical directors actually have their PhD. If not, they'll have their LPC, they'll have, MSW, they'll have something. I had none of that other than my certification as addiction counselor. And however, here I am, clinical director. Again, that's when you know when you're walking in your purpose, because your life doesn't look like the traditional. You don't take the traditional path. What you do is you move into your big, you take the risk and say, I'm going to go into my big. And then you start looking for clues in your life that lines up to where you're going. And then you know that this is your purpose, because then people stop showing up on your path to help take you the way. The parts that you don't have in your life, there will be people in your life popping up on your way. But one thing about walking into your purpose, you have to walk first. It's not going to happen when you sit back and say, okay, when I get all of this together and then I'm going to walk. You'll never walk into your purpose. So I knew this was my purpose, because all these things began to happen, and it was just a natural transition into going into my big. My big, so you know, is becoming a motivational speaker. That's my big. My big is daring to dream that I can actually carry a message that change is possible nationally and internationally, because that's my goal. I know many people, I know many women and men in recovery who did open up their treatment programs. And not that I know everyone in the world, but I don't know anyone within my area that moved into the world of motivational speaking. And I said, you know what? I'm passing the owning the treatment program thing. I'm going for my big, and I've been doing that. And I'm new, like Mary. I too am an aspiring motivational speaker. I've since moved back here to Atlanta after I left my job at December 29th. I'm here in Atlanta now. I've been working really hard and all the business aspects of motivational speaking. And just before I hit Atlanta, that's when those people started popping up in my life. So now I have a business coach, and she helps me with the business part of becoming a motivational speaker. I actually have a motivational mentor, and oh my God, I'm so excited here. Every time I think about her, I'm going to tell you very little, because she's coming on my show. This woman, you talk about pain to purpose. This woman has a story about experiencing pain. And yesterday, I am so proud, she graduated with her PhD from Clark Atlanta University. And now she is Dr. Janetta McSwain. And anybody who's connecting me on Facebook, I was posting pictures and, saying congratulations, because I'm so proud of her. Not just because she got the PhD, because that's a miracle. When you find out about her, and I tell you this much, Janetta started off with a 10th grade education, and she dropped out of high school. And she pursued her GED. So she is a big speaker on going from your GED, the fact that you can go to a PhD. And that's not even the miracle in her story. That is an awesome miracle. But one of the things, I'm looking with Mary Perfect Business First and speakers. Yes. Got to learn the business first. Yes. But one of the things about Dr. Janetta McSwain, she experienced childhood sexual assault, severe childhood sexual assault. And she will tell you, mother never told her that she was loved, never hugged her, never combed her hair, never did any of that. And she experienced childhood sexual assault from her family. It was incest. And she openly shares her story. She's a wonderful motivational speaker. And I've seen her. I met Dr. Janetta McSwain when she was interning, when she was pursuing her master's. And She came to the treatment program where I worked. And I remember you talking about walking into your purpose. At that time, she kept saying what she was going to do with her life. And one thing about walking into your purpose, be careful of sharing that with small-minded people. Because she got the look like, yeah, right. And I shared this with her yesterday because I went to her celebration. I said to her at the table, everyone does not have to believe in your dream. Everybody cannot see that far. Not everybody has the same gifting. So she would get things like, yeah, you're right. Today, Janetta is not only Dr. Janetta McSwain. She has taken what she said she was going to do and took it further than I ever thought she would. I knew she had it in her. I encouraged her. Janetta has spoken over 60 conferences. She has spoken not only nationally, she's even spoken internationally. She's spoken, I think it was a couple of years ago, she spoke in Japan. They paid her to speak for over a week in Japan. Janetta speaks everywhere. So before I came to Atlanta, I said, Janetta, and I shared a couple of weeks ago in my video, when you're ready to go to your next level and you don't have anybody around you, it's time for you to pick up the phone and start reaching out to people and ask them. Ask them. Don't sit and wait. Say, can you do this for me? Can you be my mentor? So I picked up the phone. Well, actually, I did it on Facebook, and Janetta said, Natalie, as soon as you get to Atlanta, I'll be there for you. And Janetta has been there for me ever since. And she's just an awesome message of change is possible. So I'm going to get off of that. I know I told you a lot. She'll be on the show, and you'll hear more of her story. But the same thing with me and a lot of other ladies who have experienced pain, even including Samantha. Samantha's going to get on the seat, but Samantha herself has experienced a lot of trauma herself. And she, I'm not even going to tell her, because she's moving into her purpose and about giving back. And I'll let her tell you what she's doing. But yeah, it's possible to move from your pain to purpose. And again, with the women, I didn't get to why I chose women. Even when I made a decision to become a motivational speaker, I was told you got to find your niche. And I was like, no, as a new speaker, no, I'm going to carry this message to everybody, men, women. And people kept saying, no, you have to find your niche. And then people were saying, why don't you speak to women? I'm like, no, I don't want to speak to women. No, I don't. I'll speak to women, but I want to speak to men. And then, months later, I had to sit with myself and I had to pray. And I said, God, who do you want me to speak to? And even there are times when I think about becoming a motivational speaker, there is that self-doubt. And I tell people, little Natalie is still inside of me somewhere. Her voice is quieter today. She's not as loud because Big Natalie has the reins now, and Big Natalie's in charge. But when I begin to move from pain to purpose, little Natalie's voice sometimes gets a little bit louder, and he kind of says, "You sure we can do this? Are you sure?" And I had to quiet her voice, and I had to learn how to say, we're gonna take these risks. And you know what? When I sat and I thought about it for a week, and I said the best way for me to be confident in who I'm speaking to is to speak about what I know. Speak about what I already know. And the number one thing I know about is being a broken woman. That I know without a shadow of doubt. What is it like to be a broken woman? Not only a broken woman, I know what it feels like to be a broken woman who has begun to mend her broken pieces over the years. And mend her broken pieces in the different areas of addiction to substances. Mend my broken pieces when it comes to my experiences with domestic violence. Mend my broken pieces after all these years of living beneath my purpose. And mending those pieces to the point where now I'm able to take risk and say, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. So I made a decision to speak to women. And now I have to even niche down even more because the population of women who I want to speak to, I best can speak to women that are my age. That's where one of my passions lie, because at 53 years old, most women that are my age, at least most women in my experience, are preparing for their retirement. They are paying to retire. And I listen to them and I'm like, wow, I'm planning for my future. I'm planning for my life now. And they're planning for their retirement. And I'm like, oh my God, life is not over. life, I feel for the first time that my life is actually beginning, and I still have so many years to go. And I thank God that I don't think that way, because just imagine I would let little Natalie show up, because little Natalie would probably say, really, Natalie, you are 53 years old. It's time to plan for your retirement. But Big Natalie says, no, we're just starting. We have a whole lot of years to go. And now that I'm sure that I'm going to speak to women. I'm sure that I'm going to speak to women my age, so I can let them know that your dream is not over. It's not time for retirement. You may want to retire for one particular area in your life, but it's time to move into something else. And my goal is to try to help people move into their purpose, not your job, your purpose. Because I watch people over the years, and you still see it on Facebook, and people saying, I can't wait till Friday. I can't wait till the weekend. Now that I'm actually walking into my purpose, I don't even know what that feels like to say, I can't wait till the weekend. I am so passionate about speaking that I do this all day long, every day, Monday through Sunday. So there is no, I can't wait till the weekend. For me, I can't wait till I get on that stage and I speak to thousands of people and share my story that you can go from pain to purpose. You know, I'm going to kind of wind up with myself. There's so much more to my story. But yeah, you can go from pain. I used to think as a little girl that I didn't have what it took to live a large life. Life told me, my experiences told me that that wasn't for me. I could never see forward to this day where I say I'm going for it. In my life, that was impossible. I don't share this often, and because it was so far back in my memory, and I'm writing my book now, so memories are coming up as I'm writing my book. But I remember a time that I even stopped talking. The only time that I would talk is when I went to school, because that was my comfort place in school. But when I came home in my neighborhood, I just didn't talk. And some people would ask me, can you talk? And this is before I got into drugs and alcohol. And I just stopped talking because who was paying attention? Who was listening to me? So what was the point of even speaking? So I truly shut down. And for that broken little girl who really didn't speak much, who didn't think she had a voice, today is becoming a motivational speaker. My God. My God. No way in heaven could I see the day that I'm even on Blab, even anticipating the day of talking to thousands of people, a broke little girl like who I used to be. Wow. You know, so you can go from pain to purpose. And along the way, I had to encourage myself, and I want to share one thing. And one of the things I used to tell myself as I motivated myself to say that I can do this is that I was reading the Bible and going to church, and I'm like, well, all these people in the Bible seem to all have issues before they moved into their purpose. They all had issues. They all had problems. And they became one of the most notable people in the Bible. From Jacob to Abraham, they all had issues. And look where they ended up in the Bible. So I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. So I want to be that example for people. Yes, Moses stuttering. Yes, stuttering fiercely to a fierce leader. Yes, absolutely. So that encouraged me to say, yes, I can do this. You know what I mean? Because one thing I do have is a broken history. One thing I did have was a lot of trauma. So if they can do it, I could do it too. So this is pretty much a little bit of how I wound up here. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open up. So whoever wants to jump on now, I want to hear from you. I definitely want to hear from you, ladies. So come on in. Just call in, and we have 3 seats available. Okay, here we go. I see you, Samantha. I'm about to click you in now. Here we go. I love Samantha. Samantha's such a supporter of the show. I appreciate Samantha so much. She great supporter. Great supporter. Okay, we're just waiting. Hey, Samantha. The box open. I don't see your face. I'm not sure if your video. There you go. Hey, Samantha.
Hey, guys. Can y'all see me?
I can see you. Definitely.
Okay, so we're traveling. I had to stop by my mom's for a minute.
Oh, okay.
And Freddie goes, he forgot. Sorry.
That's okay. You're on audio only. You're in the area where there's poor internet connection. Just so you know, we can hear you now, but we can't see you. You just clicked. Your video just clicked off. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if y'all could see me now.
Not now because of where you're at. It says poor internet signal. But we can hear you clearly. Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you, Sam. Ooh.
Even though we've all had a rocky start, there's always a way to turn back around.
Yeah.
That
Samantha,
always a hope and always a future.
Samantha, call back in because now, even like Mary saying, your voice is choppy now. Can you call back in? The connection just went really bad. Call back in. Okay. While Samantha is getting her audio and her video together, if anybody else wants to join in and contribute to the conversation, please come on. And I see there's is that Albert Kaufman? How you doing, Albert? What brings you to the room, Albert? I'm not sure if he's still there. I think I see Janelle. I see her logo up there. Okay. Oh, okay. Mary calling in. All right. I'm about to click you on, Mary. There she is.
To come in
Hey,
and tell
Mary.
you your message is so needed. I had a quick question for you.
Sure.
Is 53 Generation X or no?
Say that again.
Is the age 53 Generation X?
I don't know what Generation X is, but I am 53. Go ahead.
Sorry. In terms of what it is that kind of shapes us and molds us. So, for instance, the children born in like the late 80s, or I think the mid 80s into like the middle 90s, they're the millennials.
Okay.
And I believe your message speaks to me, and that's why I was asking, I wonder, are you a part of my generation, which is Generation X?
Okay.
And then usually you go from the middle 60s until, I believe, like 1978, 79. It depends on, who you speak to.
Okay, thank you for clarifying what the years were with Jenna, because I was going to ask you that. What years are considered that generation? I would say I was born in 1962, so close, very close to that generation. Very close. Yeah. So tell me about Generation X. You have me curious now, Mary. Generation X. Where did that term come from? What is that about?
I'm not sure where the term X came from, but